this is Amy. Welcome today to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I do a really pretty floral design using a number 4 Filbert brush and a number 4 flat brush. These are all Amagic brushes. I do put the affiliate links down below if you want to purchase through them. Using a number 2 Deerfoot stippler and my trusty old fine liner by Westonia. Also using a dotting stylus, but you can use anything that you are comfortable with making dots with. As far as the paints, I always use FolkArt paints, a mixture of multi-surface and enamels, using pale yellow, moon yellow, teddy bear brown, magenta, wicker white, lime green, and thicket. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to fill my brush, and I'm using the Filbert brush with the magenta, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the magenta first, and I'm just doing little blooms. Put them up here, and going to do a little bloom, put it over here. So I'm just pushing the petals down, or the bristles down, and pulling them towards the center. Now, I know there's not technically a center here, but that's what I'm doing. Alright, so then creating the flower itself, I'm just going to go around, do a few strokes. I like to give them a little bit of wave if possible, curving. I guess wave can mean a few things, right? And some of them are straight. And you can put another one in here if you want. I'll add another color over the top of this. Gonna put a little one down here. And again, you can do it where you're making it a little bit smaller as you're creating it. And then you can do one that's looking like it's partially open. Not completely open. Okay, I'm going to stop with it right there, and then I'm going to go back in, just touch into my white, just touching into, sorry, to the wicker white. You can dab a little bit of it off on your plate if you wish. That's up to you, or your palette, I should say. I'm using a plate, so doesn't mean that you all are, right? Yeah, and typically I don't do even numbers, but for this one I am. Got a little crackling here, which happens when you paint over a color. Whoops, see it separated a little bit here. And I'll just have to go over it, not push so heavy. That's one of the differences of painting on glass, because that happens. Okay, so we're just gonna keep working here. You don't have to completely cover these petals if you don't want. Kind of like my design yesterday. I'm sorry if I keep hitting my camera. And then I'm trying not to hit the camera. I'm sorry guys if I did, or if I am. Let's see, I'm just pulling that up here. I don't want the separation in the paint, so I just have to go over it just real easy. That happens. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes it happens just on a certain part. It's one reason too that you should make sure that you put, go over it with rubbing alcohol to make sure you've gotten all the grease off of the bottle, any debris that's left over. Proper cleaning is a big factor. This is a bottle that I use for my videos, so I'm not too concerned about it, but if I were to sell it, obviously that would make, I would need to make sure that it didn't have any crackled paint looks on my plate, or on my design. Alright, next thing I'm going to do, this on the wet on wet. Stick my little Deerfoot stippler into the pale yellow, moon yellow, do some tapping off, and then create my centers. Now, because I'm doing it wet on wet, it's very possible that I will pull up some pink in here. I am not really that concerned about that. If you are, then give your design some dry time or hit it with a heat gun. That's up to you. Now I'm going to come in here and do one up in here. And you can go back over it, work with your centers as much as you want. Then I'm going to touch the back end into the teddy bear brown and come through here and just kind of pounce it in. It's definitely easier to do the centers if the paint is dry. And I'll come back over it with my lighter color. Yep. It may take a little bit of time to get it to where you like it, but again, that's up to you. Put a little bit more brown on there. Didn't get that much on there. You can always tap in the center. No, I didn't want it to look like that, but more of a natural look. Well, that didn't do either. That's why I say sometimes these are not that easy to do. A little bit easier if you're doing it with it dry. And you just got to keep messing with it a little bit to get it to where you like it. Alright, gonna leave them alone. Leave them alone. Okay. Oh, next thing I'm gonna do is come in here with my dotting stylus, and I'm going to come in and put in some dots. The last few designs I've done I've been using my stylus. The open ones, I'm going to actually use the dots, or put the dots, I shouldn't say use them, but place the dots all around the center. Sometimes I just do it in certain areas and then leave it be. But on this, I'm doing it all the way around. Then I'm going to come into the next color, which is the Moon Yellow. And you don't have to do a lot of dots. I get carried away with stuff at times, but like my leaves. Now I'm going to go into the teddy bear brown, add a little bit of brown to this mix. You could add white. You could actually come in here with some of the magenta, or pick out another color like the berry wine. That's up to you. And as I mentioned, typically on my designs, if there's anything I add that you do not like, leave it off your design. It's perfectly fine. Like I said, I can get carried away with things. It's okay. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is take my fine liner, go into my greens. I just like to stick it in, pull it out. I can put it into some white, and then I come in here. Now you could use, on this one, you could actually use maybe the flat brush to do some actual leaves around this. I'm just going to stick with the liner and use the liner for this part. I like to dip it into the white just to add a little bit more so you can see it, especially on the green bottle. And again, you can make them thicker if you want to make them look more like regular leaves. Feel free to do that too. And I'm just going to hook these together. And if you wanted to put more up in here, you could. I'm just going to make it pretty simple. And then we'll come down here. Well, the only thing I did need to do before I do this is I've got to pull it down like that. I've got to add the bottom part of the leaves to this next flower. Let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to add them to this flower here. So I'm going to come in here and just put them to where they're up. Now I can go up over that a little bit, because I didn't want all this to show. That's why I only did part of it. Because it's just going to be a partially open flower. All right, and we'll go back to adding on this one. We can add, because it's partially open, we want to show it being attached to the stem. And the thicker you put your paint on, the more durable it is going to be. So me going over these, that helps. Now if you want it to be that you've got, you know, more stems coming in here from like these others, or just branches, like you're putting together a bouquet. I have a little lip down here, so it's why it's kind of showing that it's not catching the paint. Anyhow, it can come down like this, and you just pretend. You can even do like a little ribbon around here if you want, or just let it be free-flowing. All right, next thing we're going to do is come in here with the number 4 flat brush, and I am going to be putting some white in this too, doing some easy leaves. Very easy leaves. Okay, so basically the leaf is going to be like putting 2 of these together, like 2 of your, like your one-stroke leaves, your little easy one-stroke leaves. So you can do the light on the top or the dark on the top. It doesn't really matter. You can rotate them however you want to do it. Like I said, you can have it to where just a mixture of how you're creating them. Very simple. Very easy. I hope you're seeing this. Sorry if I'm... There's so many different ways to make leaves, it's not even funny. And since I love them so much, I'm going to go like that even. Alright. Again, I'm going to get crazy with my leaves. Sorry guys. I think I need one more here and then I'll stop. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is go back to my liner brush and just take a few moments to tie these into my stems. Just simple and easy. This little guy's coming down from here. If you want to not actually add a stem through the center, you're welcome to leave it alone. Maybe even use your flat brush to attach them, that's fine. Up to you. And again, I'll maybe just do a few little pulls just to kind of fill in some spots. That's up to you though. You don't have to do these. Alright, I think we're done. I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. New to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And before leaving, if you would take a moment to share this video on your social network with your family and friends, I would greatly appreciate that. Until the next time, please stay safe and healthy, and you have a good one.